In this video, I'm going to show you live demonstration of migrating a Power Pages site from one environment to another. Now, as you see in the screen, this is a build migration architecture from dev to UAT. Now, I have one environment called as dev. I will be moving all the items from dev to UAT. Now, what I have in dev is Power Pages site, and I have other customization. Now, in customization, I'll simulate some customization by creating one table and creating one flow, and I'll put those customization in a solution and migrate using import export. However, for Power Pages side, I'm going to use Speck CLI. Now I can use solutions in the model 2 or the enhanced data model, but I'm going to demonstrate using Speck CLI on how to migrate the Power Pages site from dev environment to UAT environment. Now, what are the steps? Now, first, before we even do the migration, we need to understand about what build are you going to migrate from one environment to another. As I mentioned to you, we have Power Pages configuration and other customization. Power Pages configuration is all related to Power Pages site. Other customization is related to all your custom tables, solution, flows, those kind of things. Now, other customization is a simple process. What you need to do is like you need to just create a solution, add components to the solution, export the solution from dev to UAT, okay, and import into UAT. For Power Pages migration, you need to use a CLI. Now, what are you going to do first is you need to extract the environment ID of both the environments. That's important because this is going to go in your command. You open the PowerShell command editor in admin mode or maybe any other editor of your choice. Make sure that you have PackCLI installed. You create an auth profile for dev and UAT. Point to the dev auth profile. Get the website ID of dev Power Page site. Execute the pack portal download command. Point to UAT auth profile and then execute the pack portal upload command. So this is the step we are going to follow. Okay. Now, as you see here, this is my environment, Girish Dev. Now let me duplicate an environment over here as well. So now if you see here, this is a Girish Dev environment. What I'm going to do is first I'm going to like say refresh this page and I'm going to create a site. Okay. And let's call the site as say wingtip site. Okay. So let me create a blank page, choose this template, and let me call this as wingtip site. Okay, and here I'm gonna name it wingtip site. Now I'll keep everything default, and I click done. Okay, I'll wait for the site to complete. I'll come back to this. Now, apart from Power Pages, we are going to migrate some solution as well, which is all dependent on the Power Pages site. Now, what does the solution contain? Okay, now first thing, what I've done is let me first create a solution and show you something. Say wingtip solution. Okay, and let me add a publisher, which is my name. Click create. In this solution, uh, what I'll be doing is I have already created a table and a flow, so I'm going to add those. Okay, so if I say add existing table, and there was a table related to cricket, so cricket team is one of the table. I'm going to add that. Okay, I'll say include all objects. That's it, add, and this table will get added. Now there is another automation flow, a cloud flow, which is somewhat related to cricket. Let me see if I have that or not. Age. Yeah, so that's update cricketer's age. I'm going to add that. Okay. Now these are the two items which I have added over here. I'll just say publish all the customization. Okay. Now this is the table which I'm going to import from say source solution to the destination solution. Now once it is published, I'm going to export this solution. This is a very simple step process, so there's nothing new in it. Okay. Let's go to the Power Pages side and see whether it is provisioned or not. It's still provisioning, so we'll wait for that. Let this customization be published. Okay. In the meantime, what we are going to do, we are going to open our PowerShell command line and try to create an authentication profile. Okay, so I have my PowerShell opened over here. There's nothing in it, blank. It's run in administrator mode. So I'll just say CLS. Now the first command what we need to run is get the environment details. Okay, now in order to get an environment detail, what we need to do is, like, first we need to go into Power Platform admin center and try to extract the URL of the UAT and the dev environment. So this is the UAT environment URL for me, and if I go into the dev environment, I can extract the dev environment URL as well. So just copy the dev environment URL and the UAT environment URL. So I've already done that. Let me first run some command. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run a command called Speck auth, and first list down uh, what is the how many authentications are profiles are configured. So there is none over here. So okay, so what I'm going to do, first create pack auth create, and I'm going to give some name. Okay, so this is my name, Girish Dev. Okay, this is for the only specific for dev URL, and let me copy the URL of the dev environment which we have copied from the Power Platform admin center, and this is the profile which we have created. So it will prompt for authentication, and I'll just log in, and this is now logged in. Now if I do a pack auth list, I will see the profile which I've just created. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another command which is again pack auth create, but this time for UAT environment. Okay, pack auth create dash name Girish UAT, and then this is the new URL for UAT environment. Now again the same thing, the authentication will prompt me up, and I'm gonna select my profile, and now my authentication profile is connected. Okay, so if I do pack auth list, it will show me the authentication profile which I have configured for my environment. Now if you see the star over here, it is pointing to UAT. Now let's point this to Girish Dev. Now how do we do that? Pack auth select dash dash index. Okay, so the index number is 1, so I want to point to here, it's 1. Then what it will do, it will point to the Girish Dev profile. Now again, if we find out pack auth list, it will show me that the profile is now pointing to the dev environment. So all good from this side. Okay, we'll come to this once we have the site created. Now Wixit site is already created. Now let me click on edit. Okay, and let me add some customization to it. Okay, so let me create one page. I'll call it as cricketers, and I'll click on add, and maybe I'll create another page called as root. Okay, I'll click on add, and maybe I'll call this edit site header as some ICC cricket or some name. Okay, and then I can put some image as well. Let me put this image of the cat, and that's my logo, and that's basically all about it. Okay, now from here, if I go to data, now here what I'll do, I'm going to add a table. Okay, table in the site. Now uh, there are other tables over here now which I have already created before. So let me see if I have thing. Yes, I have a cricket team. So let me say this cricket team table over here. Now this is the table which I want to like use within my application. Okay, now this is a table which I will use in the application to migrate. Okay, now let me do one thing. Let me go into the pages over here, and if I go over here, let me add if it's a list. Okay, now the where will this data be stored? It's in this table which is cricket team. Okay, select the data views, cricketer view, and name your list cricket view. Okay, so this is coming from Power Pages, so I'll call it as PP cricket view and done. And then it should list down the cricket view details. Okay, so in this cricketers page, I will set the permission. Click on new permission, and then you can set the permission here. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to set the permission from here. I'm going to go to data, uh, go to setup, and then here I'll set the table permission. So I'll set a new table permission, and then I'll call it as cricket perm. Okay, and I'll select the table cricketing, and I'll click global access as of now. I'll give all the permission as of now, and then I'll add a role of authenticated users. Okay, and I'll save this one. So now the permission is set. Okay, so what's going to happen is if I go to the pages, then I will be able to view the list of all the cricketers over here. Okay, and I can even set the authentication, which I'm going to set it now. So if I go to setup, identity providers, Azure Active Directory is enabled, so that's good. So let me add this and say this one is page settings, permissions. I want anyone can I want to choose only the authenticated users to see this page. I'll say okay. Now just to see what your website contains, I'll click on sync first, and then I will preview the page. I'll log in using Azure AD, and I'll consent to the application, and my Power Pages site should load with a list of the table items. Okay, yes. So this is what it is. Okay, this is how it should look like. Now, okay, this is all good with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to again go back to the PowerShell command line, and then I'll now I have set my authentication over here, so it's everything looks good to me as of now. Let's see what back auth list shows. It is first make sure that it points to the dev environment, which is actively doing over here. Then I will go ahead and create a folder within my desktop, or maybe in the C drive. So over here, I've got a C wingtip deployment where all the command uh, Power Pages set of file will be downloaded. Okay. So then I will first list down pack PA portal list. Okay, this will list down all the Power Pages site within my current environment. I have created one, so technically it should list me one. Now these are some of the site which was earlier created and which I have deleted, but this is the one which I am currently interested, which is a wingtip site. This one. Now I'll pick up the ID. This is called as a website ID. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna uh, write one command which is called as PAC pack PA portal download dash path. Now the path which I will give is the wing tip deployment. You can put any name dash website ID, and paste the website ID, and let's see what error it gives. Okay, it's I think it started downloading, and it is now downloading the website. No, it is giving me an error that website record does not exist. Now why does this error comes is because you haven't specified the model number. Okay, now model is very important, you need to specify. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here, add a another piece of code, model version, and call it as this is data version model version 2. This is enhanced data model. Then once you put that, it should connect, and then it should start downloading the files. Now once it downloads the file, technically I'll show you how this will look in the portal site. It will create a folder, and then this folder will have all the file over here. Okay, now this is done. Now, what we're gonna do is we will upload this uh, in the UAT environment. But before we do that, we need to point the auth profile to UAT environment. Okay. Now I'm writing pack auth list. Now I will change this to pack auth select dash dash index and then two. Okay, because I'm now pointing it to the UAT environment, so star should come over here. Now let's see again by running this command pack auth list. It should list down the that it is pointing to UAT. Now the command is simple. What we need to do is we need to write just say pack portal upload dash dash path c wingtip deployment because it is already pointing to UAT environment. So anything which is part of this particular path should be uploaded in the new site. Okay. Now this is not the complete path. Now if you see here, you need to point to the folder which has the YAML file, the website.yaml. Now this is that folder path. So you need to add this also on top of it. Okay. So this is the path. Now let's see what happens. Now it says it has started uploading the website data and it will start preparing the manifest. And if everything goes fine, it says, okay, manifest is loaded successfully. And then we'll start creating the record. It might take around 30-40 seconds for this action to be completed. Okay. And it is done in 36 seconds. Now let's go into, now what we have done is we have gone into a dev environment. Okay, let me go into UAT environment where we have deployed the solution. Go to Girish UAT, and here let's see if we can see the site which you have recently migrated. Now there are no sites, but if you move to inactive sites, you should see the site which was just say manifested, I'd say. Okay. Now this is that wingtip site which was just manifested. Okay. Now let me reactivate the site. Okay. Let me reactivate. Now, the moment you reactivate it, it'll ask you that what kind of name you want. I'll say I want wingtip site UAT, and then I'll call it as wing dash UAT. You can pick up any name, and once it resolves, you just click on done, and your site should be reactivated with all the configurations. Okay, looks like the site is done. Let me preview the site. Now here, as you see, this particular site has been provisioned and you can see the pages which has already been created. Let me edit the site and see whether all the pages have been migrated or not. Now as you see here, all the pages have been migrated. Now there is a cricketers page which we are not able to see over here. Let me manually go ahead and type cricketers. Then if you type this URL, this it will ask for authentication. Now you log in using Azure AD, and once you log in using Azure AD, it should technically load the page and display the results. And as you see over here, now this U8 environment has only had two records, so that's why it is showing that's those two records. So that's it, folks. This is all about migrating the site from dev to U8 environment. Now let's assume if you have some changes, like if you added one more page, okay, then how do you do that migration? Now again, it's a simple process. As long as you have made those changes in the dev environment, again follow the same process. Go to pack CLI, download the file from the source, and then upload the file into the destination. Now this time, second time when you do it, you need not do that reactivation because the site has already been reactivated. All the changes will be persisted as you start uploading the file changes. Okay, so that's it, folks. This is all about migrating the site from dev to UAT environment. Thanks for watching.